The week is finally here. Packers training camp starts in only 2 days, so I thought we should go over some of the biggest training camp battles I think we should watch. I have 3 specific positions I want to talk about. The positions that I think where the battles will be the most important. Of course, at the other positions, there are going to be some battles for like depth and backup spots, but I want to go over the biggest ones that I have found. And if you guys are new here, you want to see all things Packers, I put up Packers videos on this channel every single day, news updates, all that stuff. And with training camp starting Wednesday, I will be dropping videos here with all the news that goes down. So if you want to stay up to date with all of that, make sure you turn on the notifications so that way the second I put out news videos, you get notified right away. So first off, the first position battle that I honestly think right now is the most important in light of some news that came out this past weekend is the offensive line. So if you guys have been watching my videos the past few days, you saw that Dave Bakhtiari was placed on the physically unable to perform list. And now with it basically being 18, 19 months since he originally injured himself, it is a little concerning that he's still not completely and fully healthy. And there were questions this entire offseason if he would be ready to go. And it's just not great news to see that he is on the PUP list. And with the PUP list before the season starts, these players could be taken off of it at any moment. So that could happen for Bakhtiari. But still, I would rather have not seen him put onto this PUP list. And so now when we look at this offensive line, I'm sort of thinking, okay, what if David Bakhtiari isn't able to go when the season starts, which I hope he will, who knows? But if he's not able to go, it makes this offensive line battle that much more important because we're going to have some guys come in here and step up. So when we look at this offensive line, I'd say 3 guys or 4 guys who will probably starting at least to start the season. We have John Runyon at left guard, Josh Myers at center, Royce Newman at right guard, and then Yosh Nijman, I think, will either be starting at left tackle or right tackle. If Bakhtiari is healthy when the season starts, I think Yosh will definitely be on the right side, Bakhtiari on the left side. But if for some reason Bakhtiari can't play, Yosh Nijman did play 589 snaps last season at left tackle, only allowed 3 sacks, so it could make sense to put him there at left tackle, and then there are a few other options for us at right tackle. When we look at the Packers drafting Sean Rhyan, Zach Tom, and Rasheed Walker, all of these guys played tackle in college. Sean Rhyan started for 3 seasons at left tackle at UCLA, Packers' 3rd-round draft pick. Zach Tom from Wake Forest, the Packers' 4th-round draft pick, moved to left tackle his junior year. And then his senior year, he had a 92.1 pass blocking grade at left tackle, which is very good. And then Rasheed Walker, 7th-round draft pick, started 32 games at left tackle for Penn State. And there were some people who saw him as a 3rd or 4th-round draft pick. So the Packers do have some young talent that could start at tackle if we maybe needed them to. We know the Packers and Brian Gutekunst love to draft players who can play at any position on the offensive line. So that way it makes these guys that much more versatile. So maybe one of those players could move to right tackle if Yosh starts at left tackle, if Bakhtiari is out. And Elton Jenkins, of course, is still dealing with his ACL injury. But I'm thinking, too, if Bakhtiari isn't able to start this season, which, as I said already, we don't know, I think it makes sense for the Packers to come in, sign some kind of veteran tackle, so that way we have some veteran presence on that line, because while some of these rookies could come in and play well, you never know how long it'll take for them to grasp this offense, and I would feel a little bit more secure to have someone else who we know can come in right away and play well. So I think that would make sense for the Packers, depending on Bakhtiari's status. So that is the offensive line. And now moving to the next biggest one, which maybe this is the biggest one, it's debatable, is wide receiver. And I'm excited to finally get to see these guys out playing, and we'll be able to sort of maybe have some new insights onto who's at the top of the depth chart, who's fighting for these other spots, because so far it's sort of been lots of just question marks like, okay, will Sammy Watkins get back to his former self? Is Christian Watson going to be able to build that chemistry with Aaron Rodgers right away? All these different kinds of things. And right now, too, as I broke down a few days ago, Christian Watson is on the PUP list. It doesn't seem like it should be that big of a problem, but still, he's injured currently at this time, and we'll have to sort of watch and see how long it takes for him to be healthy so that he's able to come in and build that chemistry that he needs to build with Aaron Rodgers. So I think, especially to start off the season, Allen Lazard has that opportunity to be the number 1 wide receiver. Aaron Rodgers said it himself. And if we take a look at the last 5 games for Allen Lazard last season, he had 290 yards and 5 touchdowns. And so if he can get back to that form and play that well, I think that Lazard will probably be, the Packers' number 1 option, at least to start the season. And Sammy Watkins, if we take a look at Sammy Watkins' stats here, it's been a while since he's had a season of a very high production. Last year, 394 yards. The year before, 421, 673. It's when you look back in Buffalo in 2014 and 2015 where he has 2 of his best seasons of his career in his first 2 years, 982 yards and 1,047 yards. So I think there is a hope that maybe he can get back to that form, because when he's playing with Aaron Rodgers and there are all these targets up for grabs with Devontae and MVS gone, it could happen, but he needs to stay healthy and he needs to show that he still has it, which I think in training camp we'll hopefully be able to watch and see what he's going to do there. Outside of those three guys, we got Randall Cobb, Romeo Doubs, who I think could be great, Amari Rodgers, who I think coming into year 2 should take a big step forward. He's lost some weight. There's some hope there. We got Juwan Winfrey, Samori Toure, 7th round pick, Malik Taylor, and Danny Davis. So there's questions all around this wide receiver group, just like who's going to be the number one guy, which guys will finish off this group, how many receivers will the Packers keep. That's something to watch for all of training camp. And then the final one that I want to talk about in this video, and maybe with training camp starting Wednesday, I'll make another video tomorrow on some of the other battles, but this is the outside linebacker battle. When we look at this offseason, we lost both Zadarius Smith as well as Whitney Merciless, who played a few important games for the Packers this past season before he goes down with an injury. Zadarius Smith, of course, joining the Vikings, which is going to be weird to see him facing off against Aaron Rodgers when the season starts. But Zadarius only played in a minimum amount of snaps, like one game maybe last year, and so it's not going to be that big of a blow. But when we look at this group right here, top 2, Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith. Rashawn Gary was a beast last year, 2nd in the NFL in pressures and pass rush win rate, and Preston Smith had a career high in pressures for him at 62 pressures. So at our top 2 spots in the edge, we are completely set. But outside of those guys, there are lots of question marks. We have Jonathan Garvin and Tipa Naliai, who played a lot of snaps last year, who are pretty, okay, I'd say average guys. Then we have Randy Ramsey, who missed all of last year with an injury, a guy who was undrafted, came to Green Bay in 2019, spent some time in the practice squad, then played in around 12 games in 2020. So I think there is some hope there with him being healthy. Maybe he can come in and show us something. We have Packers 5th round draft pick Kingsley Enagbare, who didn't show off great in the combine and is like in those kind of workouts. But if you take a look at him in his final season of college, according to ESPN, he generated pressure on 15.7% of opponents' dropbacks, which ranked 2nd in the SEC. So when he was playing, he was producing at a high level, and so the Packers get a player there who I think has the upside to become a legit edge rusher. Will it happen year 1? We'll see, but I think he'll have some opportunity there. And then outside of him, we have Ladarius Hamilton and Kobe Jones. So there are some question marks outside of Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith. Maybe it would even make sense to find some kind of veteran edge rusher either sometime soon once the season gets going if the Packers need to get some more depth there. But those are the 3 biggest position battles I see right now. Let me know your guys, what else you guys are going to be watching for training camp. And as I said already, I will be putting out news videos for all these training camp days to keep everyone up to date for what's happening. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a like on the video, and I'll see you guys next time.